Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.
You and I both know there are lots of different kinds of running shoes on the market. There's neutral running shoes, pronation control shoes, somewhere in between with neutral cushioning, minimalist running shoes, maximalist running shoes. There are all kinds of running shoes, and they're all built for different things. Every shoe has its place. This is the bottom line. You have to think about this. Now, everybody wants the best running shoe. They want one running shoe. Well, I have lots of different running shoes. I run in different kind of trail shoes. I have some Cascadias that are I think they're kind of stiff. They're protective though. They're really tough, and they actually do really protect you well from certain obstacles, but they're kind of rigid. So with my foot type, if I run in those and I'm running on really hard packed surfaces, well, I might be at risk of stress fractures. But if I run in the Hoka Stinsons, which have a lot more cushion than the Cascadias, I might be better protected if I'm running on really hard trails. But at the same time, if the trail's super soft, like it's sandy, it's muddy, any of that, I'd probably prefer to have the Cascadias because they give me better grip and they're a little more stable, and so my feet don't skate as much. Same thing on the road. I have Kinvaras that are really soft and flexible. I have some Hoka Bondis, which are very cushy. I have some Asics Gel Nimbus shoes, which are very cushy. I have lots of different varieties of running shoes, but they do different things. They load me in different ways, and they apply stresses differently. The name of the game with running and picking the right running shoe is to make sure that you have the appropriate amount of stability and the appropriate amount of cushioning for that particular run. A lot of that has to do with the run that you're going to do and the surface you're going to run on. For example, if I'm in San Francisco and I decide I want to do let's say a 26-mile trail run, well, if I go from my house, I can actually run all the way to Tennessee Beach and back, and it's 26 miles. Now, most of that is on trails, but it's different kind of trails. So much of it, the overwhelming majority of it, is relatively hard-packed fire road kind of trails. And so I need some cushioning because it's not really that soft and forgiving. Even when it rains, it has lots of rock in it, so the water doesn't really make it very muddy when it rains a lot. The other thing is that I have to run through San Francisco, across the Golden Gate Bridge, and then I'm on the trails. So I'm running a relatively long way. I'm running not quite half of it. I'm running about maybe 10 miles of it or so on pavement. So I don't want to wear stiff running shoes that have great grip that could protect me from rocks and things like that if I'm going to run on concrete or asphalt most of the way, or even half the way, or even 10 miles, because I would never pick those shoes for that 10-mile run. When I get on the trails, I want obviously a trail shoe for that. So I run in some trail shoes like the Hoka Stinsons that have a fair amount of cushioning. They can protect me on the concrete, and they still are pretty good on that trail because it's a relatively stiff trail. Now the problem gets trickier if you're running half of the way on a road surface or concrete or asphalt, and then you have to run on a really soft trail that's like sand or really loose mud or lots of grass or something like that. It's a much softer surface. But you have to think about this. You know which shoe is best for you when you're running on concrete. You probably know also which shoe is best for your trail runs when you run on the specific trails you like to run on the most. But you have to find the right combination of shoe for those things. That's the big deal here. You have to really match the shoe to the surface. And if you're going to run in a minimalist shoe like a Kinvara that's really flexible and soft, but you're running on a really soft surface like dirt or sand or gravel or something like that, it may skate too much. And that can cause a problem, because if the shoe is too flexible for you and it skates around underneath you too much, then you can get a plantar plate sprain, you can get a stress fracture, you can get peroneal tendonitis, you can get lots of different injuries just because the shoe is too flexible and it's moving around too much underneath you on that soft surface. That exact same shoe might be totally appropriate for you if you're running on a track or on the road. But you have to really think about what shoes work best for you and how it feels when you're actually running so that you can match the best shoe to the surface that you choose.
Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.